Welcome to the monthly rewind. Please type your name and district in the chat box to sign in. You can't stop the future. You can't rewind the past. The only way to learn the secret is to press play. Here is our team. We have Ashley Davidson, Heather Morris, Alicia Burry, and Wendy Pine. This year, we're going to focus on a growth mindset, and we have life lessons from Coach Jessica Wheeler. Confidence comes from taking action. I've always been described as confident, and people in my life have always asked me how to be confident themselves. Well, here's the truth. You don't have confidence before you do something scary. By doing that scary, out of your comfort zone thing, you become confident. The more scary things you do, the more confident you become. What one step could you take outside your comfort zone that would bring you more confidence? So write your answers on the screen. You can use the annotate tool to write your responses. Okay, today's agenda, we will have policy updates and news, procurement mini lesson, important deadlines, upcoming classes and reminders, let's celebrate, and vacant positions, and a poll. Let us know how you're starting out your school year. The good news is that we're here to help. Okay, policy news and updates. The PEBT summer upload is coming up, and there is new guidance. So the original guidance is listed over in the pink section, and you were going to upload 2 files, one for students that were eligible during the school year and one for newly eligible over the summer. They have decided to combine those uploads into one file. And so the file extension with that NE file 1 is no longer valid. So you'll just use this underscore file 1 or file 2, and you can do multiple files, and you would just name it according to file 1, file 2, file 3, etc. Here's a reminder for mysterious funds. Have you noticed some extra money in your bank account? Not sure where it came from? Well, there's 3 possibilities here. You have your supply chain assistance funds, your PEBT funds, and then the USDA Foods Delivery Fee Reimbursement Funds. You can sign up for an account with the Texas Comptroller's website, and that will show all the payments that are made to your bank, and it's for all the state of Texas, not just TDA. But under the invoice description, you can drill down into the payment number and find out what exactly that payment was for. There are also spreadsheets on Square Meals that tell how much money was given to each district for each of these funds. So look there as well. If you're unsure on how to track your SCA funds, here are some recommendations that we have. You would choose simple Buy American compliant unprocessed food items. And then you would want to choose products that are easily tracked, and you want to maintain your documentation. There is an FAQ available on Square Meals. Some examples of allowable food products would be fluid milk, and that includes the flavored, and any other dairy food such as cheese and yogurt, all of your fruits and vegetables, including the 100% juices, and then grain products such as pastas and rice. Also meats, so whole meats, pieces of meat, or food items such as ground meats, and your meat alternates such as beans or legumes. And here's an example of a tracking sheet that one of the districts is using. It's very simple. It just goes through, it shows the date, the product and where it went, and then how much money was spent. And then it totals it at the top. So as you add items, the amount would go up until you reach that amount that you received from the SCA grant. Some verification reminders. October 31st, that's next Monday, you will need to do a count of all students enrolled and know how many students qualify for free and reduced price meals. On November 1st, the verification report will open, and that is located in TXUMPS under applications and then download forms. And you're looking for the SNP 123 form, and it's the 22-23 verification report. The verification process must be completed by November 15th, and November 23rd is the last day to submit the verification report. So you must finish your verification process before you can do the report. Okay, FSMC templates are posted. This is for the food service management company. So if your district is currently using a food service management company, or if they plan to switch to a food service management company, you must use these templates when doing your RFP, which is the request for proposal. These are all live on Square Meals now, and you can follow this link to locate those. And now to Ashley with her procurement mini lesson.
Good afternoon. So on to procurement. First, we're going to talk about 3 bids and a buy, which is another name for small purchase method. It really reminds me of 3 Men and a Baby. I don't know if you've seen that movie. So 3 bids and a buy. So what that means is for small purchase methods, you're only required to get 2 quotes, but you must request 3 quotes. So make sure you get those 3 quotes or request 3 quotes out there. And you can do that verbally. You can do that in an email. If you do it verbally or in an email, please make sure to have the same thing written for all of your vendors. Then from there, if you only get 2 quotes back, you're good. Just keep the documentation on the 3rd. And where can I get the quotes? A lot of people are having trouble getting quotes lately. You can get it off of co-ops, off of bids. You can contact your vendors that you have contact information for. You can also gather contact information off of some of those major co-ops that districts use, like Choice Partners, Buy Board. Those are some of the ones that you can get some quotes off of or get some contact information from. Now, the biggest thing that you need to know is this co-op or bid USDA compliant? This is something that you need to find out. If the co-op follows USDA procurement guidelines for small purchases, then the CE may make purchases without additional procurement actions. So you're good to go if it's USDA compliant. You can get all 3 quotes from those. If it is a non-USDA compliant co-op or bid, then you can actually get 1 quote from them, but you can't get more than that. Your other quotes have to be from other sources. So for example, if you are looking at Buy Board and you've found a quote on Buy Board, you can use that. That's just fine. But then when you maybe go on there and you get contact information from Buy Board and you reach out to all of these vendors and they come back with quotes that say they're a part of the Buy Board contract, you need to reach out to them and let them know, hey, you can't honor Buy Board prices. It's not USC compliant for me. So they're going to have to remove that from the actual quote and not honor the Buy Board prices for you. So just make sure that's a conversation you have with that vendor. One of those quotes can say Buy Board on there, the others can't, or any other co-op that is not USDA compliant. And obviously you have to ask. I'm not sure which co-ops are USDA compliant and which ones aren't. A part of this 3 bids and a buy whole process for small purchase, you have to make sure that price is your primary consideration and really make sure you're maintaining that documentation. On to excess fund balance. So if you're purchasing items, you probably have an excess fund balance this year. A lot of people do. All of this reimbursement we're getting, we have such high reimbursement lately that you might find yourself in this situation. So congratulations, if you have an excess fund balance, you get to spend it. So with that, you have to fill out a form though. You can't just spend it. If you have an excess fund balance currently, when you go to fill out that financial report, it's going to show that, and you're going to want to show that you submitted a request to spend down your excess fund balance. Your excess fund balance, what this is for any new directors, this is going to be when your net cash resources cannot exceed the 3 months average expenditures as reported in your food service fund. And you want to make sure you fill out this form. You're going to go to Square Meals, Administration and Forms, and find it there. If you have any old forms on file, don't use those. There's a brand new form for this. And when you fill it out, there's going to be a deadline on there. Give yourself time to spend this. equipment isn't coming in quickly. So you want to make sure that you're putting, at least a year on there to get this spent. And when you do this, you're likely going to also have to fill out a capital expenditure request. So a capital expenditure request is for any capital asset or equipment that exceeds 5,000 for a single item. Or maybe you're doing some capital improvements. Maybe you're doing additions, improvements, maybe you're replacing old equipment or doing renovation. In that instance, if it exceeds $5,000, then you need to make sure you submit a capital expenditure request. For a capital asset or equipment, that's pretty simple. You're just going to enter that information in there, what school it's going to, the amount. If it is a capital improvement, you're going to have to submit documentation as to what that looks like. What are you improving? What's the scope of this project? It's likely if you're doing a capital improvement that you're going to have to prove that the district's paying for a certain percentage and you're paying for the other. Because something like a architect or a electrical engineer, a TDA is not going to allow for you to pay for all of that. The district is going to have to pay for that. So just make sure you're really filling that out. So if you have something coming up, a capital improvement that you want to do, you can always reach out to your ESC consultant and we can guide you through that process. Now, something I want you to remember about capital expenditures is what the goal of them. The goal is not that I'm looking at this and approving it for procurement review, not that you chose the proper procurement process. The only goal of capital expenditure request is that your purchase is allowable. So that's kind of just a different thought process that I want you to think about when you're going through this, because what could happen is you put one through, TDA says it's allowable, but then you have a procurement review later and TDA says this isn't allowable because you didn't procure it properly. So just know one doesn't equal the other. And really what they're looking for, the capital expenditure request is it allowable or unallowable? And is this reasonable, allocable, or necessary? So just make sure that you answer those questions when you're filling out this request. And when you're in Texas UMPS, you're going to go into applications and then you're going to go down to capital expenditure requests. And this is where you're going to submit it. I really encourage you to make sure you're checking the correct year, that you're in the right year when you submit it, and that you submit it through Texas UMPS prior to purchase, and that you upload any applicable documentation. So this could be your quotes, this could be your statement of, maybe your scope of project that you're doing. Maybe it's a statement of, hey, I'm going to do cafeteria tables and they're more than 5,000 each. So I'm going to put this in capital expenditure request and the district is going to pay for 50% of them because I only use them 50% of the time. That's just an example. Cafeteria tables aren't typically 5,000 per item, but just an example to get you thinking about how you're going to put this information in. And then follow up. If you put it in there and it's just sitting there and pending for 7 days, reach out to your consultant and we'll help guide you through that. Now we're going to look at some important deadlines. So just a few reminders. So as Heather mentioned earlier, October 31st, that's an important deadline for you. You want to make sure you get your official count of enrolled students and any free and reduced eligibility students. You want to count that up. You also want to look at your attachment B uploads. Those are due on October 31st as well. Most of you have these in, but just double check that you do. November 1st, the verification report is going to open in Texas UMPS. So you're going to go in there and grab it. It is only in this spot. You're not going to go into the other areas of Texas UMPS. It is going to be under download forms, and you're going to click on that SMP 123. There is no other verification report. It's only one this year. So yay to that. November 15th, the direct verification module closes in Texas Texas Elms, and then the verification process should be completed at this point. And then the verification report is due November 23rd. So put that in your calendar as a reminder. Now, Wendy is going to get you up to speed.
All right, so we have several upcoming Region 11 classes. We hope you'll really consider and sign up and join us. So on November 11th, we'll have another monthly Rewind webinar. On December 6th, we have our big Farm Fresh Summit, and we'll talk a little bit more about that on the next slide. December 7th is the ABCs of USDA Foods. This is a great class Alicia's developing right now. We'll do it in person and also virtually. January 25th, we will have USDA Foods with Carrie Warnick from Region 10 Co-op. It'll be a great class. And then we will also do a couple more monthly rewinds in January and February. So there's a link there to sign up on our Region 11 website. So let's talk about the Farm Fresh Summit. So Region 11, in conjunction with TDA, will present our second annual Farm Fresh Summit. The summit will discuss innovative ways to grow and include fresh foods in our children's diets, how to purchase the product directly from the source, so how to procure, and also how to support our local farms. We'd ask you to join us as we bring together local producers and TDA experts to meet program operators. The day will include a general session with breakouts on various topics such as composting, aquaponics, gardens, produce safety, fresh herbs, TDA resources, and so much more. So we're very excited about that. So please consider joining us on that day. We also have a new calendar for Region 11. We've got the school planner with deadlines, and we also have a CN training schedule. And you can find both of those on that link on our website. So feel free to click on that and download and print. All right, we have another really exciting announcement. So the School Nutrition Association has what's called the School Nutrition Boot Camp. It's a virtual training. It's November 15th through 17th. It's in the afternoon, so it's from 1 to 4-ish. It's a great opportunity to learn more about our industry. I've got a few notes from the website. Is SNA's School Nutrition Boot Camp the right choice for you and your colleagues? If any of these reasons resonate with you, the answer is yes. Do you need to have a better understanding of the school nutrition market? Do you want to identify your customers, stakeholders, their challenges, the trends in the industry, and the future of your school nutrition program? You might want to know what current external factors and trends might affect the school nutrition market. You want to understand how indirect costs, meal charges, and reimbursement levels affect how a school district budget is developed. If you want insight into the latest school nutrition guidelines and regulations, and you want to hear from school food service directors to learn about their hurdles and successes. Also, if you have an excess fund balance, they have great ideas on how to spend down your funds. So we'd really encourage you to check that out on the SNA website. There's a link here to register. And just heads up that if you're a member of SNA, the member price is $549. If you're not a member, it's $999. So we'd obviously encourage you to join SNA before you register. And this really honestly would be a great way to use up your excess fund balance and get some excellent training. So let us know if you have questions about that. Woo! All right, let's celebrate. As always, if you have any great news from your districts, please send us an email. You can talk to Patty, who's our program assistant, and we will get this on our monthly rewind. It's a great inspiration for all of us. So thank you for sending these in. We've got some great pictures this month. All right, so let's look at Denton ISD. Very exciting. They have a brand new cafeteria in their high school. It is beautiful. Very beautiful. Exciting. Coppell ISD, they are doing gardens and they've got some wonderful produce, including bok choy, which is great. It's really good. Venus ISD, they did a really fun selfie backdrop for Cowboy Day. The students were encouraged to snap selfies with their costumes. And then the picture here of the food, it looks so delicious. They have an Italian pasta salad. It's just a beautiful, colorful plate and was a huge success. That looks great. Look at those carrots standing up tall. Looks so good. Springtown. This is really nice. So the high school had a Southwest chicken salad. It looks so good with the corn and the beans and just everything. That looks fantastic. And then their lasagna with the cheesy breadstick. I love the cucumber and tomato cup. That looks so good. Those are great meals. Good job, Springtown. All right. So Meals to squeal for. These are some awesome pictures. Mansfield had chicken wings. That looks so good. And then Crowley did the gyoza, the chicken and veggie dumplings. That looks amazing. Denton has cold brew coffee. And then there's that great bok choy at Cop. Guys are doing a great job. This is School Meals That Rock, which is on Facebook. They do some awesome inspirational posts. And these are our number 10 cans. It's so cute with the Halloween. And then down below with the VW bus. I love it. Looks great. Yeah. So if any of you have anything to send in, let us know. It's so fun to share and give each other great ideas. All right. We're wrapping up. So if you have any questions, please unmute yourself, jump on. We're happy to stay on the line and answer any questions you have. If you're done and feel good, go ahead and check out and we will talk to you soon. Otherwise, we'll be here on the line. Thank you.